Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Crack Into It, a space where we discover real conversations relating to health, fitness, habits, and also feeling your best every single day. I'm your host today, Hani, and today this podcast is brought to you by BigNuts and KD Trainers. So today we have here Aren, the founder of KD Trainers. So how are you, Aren?
I'm good today. I just got the name cracked into it, so that's really interesting, really smart. I'm good today, just a little bit under the weather, but yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to say thank you so much for having this time with us, and we are so excited to be in this journey with you.
You're most welcome.
Okay, so for our audience, this is our first ever podcast, and you'll be hearing more from us in the future episodes. Today, we're diving into the first topic, which is beginners workout 101. Let's crack into it.
All right.
Something that I've been thinking about lately is, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, is how much more aware that we've become of our health and also fitness. In the middle of chasing our results, we're also get too caught up with our progress. We just sometimes forget that how hard it is to get started.
Right.
Okay, so I remember when I was first starting,
Mhm.
I was actually quite clueless because I kept on thinking like, should I start a membership with the gym or should I participate in a Pilates class? Maybe I should just do home workouts in which it's more accessible and very easy for us as beginners.
Yep.
It was famous back then with home workouts, especially those star fitness like Pamela Rafe, Lily Sabri, and also the most famous person on YouTube workouts like Chloe Ting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember like how overwhelming it was for me to start. What is the best exercise for you to start as a beginner?
All right. I think it's a great question and there's a lot to unpack over there. But I think just a disclaimer throughout this whole podcast, I think that whatever I say, the answers that I give, it's gonna be it depends, right? Because my answer to you would be different. My answer to a 45-year-old man would be different. My answer to a 70-year-old lady would be different, right? So I think I have to clear that first before all the questions. So take that with a bit of understanding, right? So coming back to your question, right? What will be the best workout for a beginner? I think you got to be very clear with your goals first. What do you want to achieve? And then you want to have the workout that is relatable to that goal, right? For example, if you're trying to lose weight, right, which is the most common goal most people have, you would want to go for, most people would usually start with a jog and things like what you said, right? I think going to the gym is intimidating, so you want to start at home first. But the best workout usually is the one that you have is relatable to you, which means that you enjoy it and there's a reason for you to do it. And the likeliness of you to stick with it in the long term, usually that's the best workout that you can get as a beginner. Now, as you move along, as you grow in your fitness journey, things might change, but I think you would have to understand your goals in the long term. Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't give you a real answer then, like what exercise is actually best, but yeah, I think to keep it simple and short, the best one is the one that you actually enjoy and it's related to your personal goals.
Something that you enjoy to do, you mean?
Yeah. And it's
Okay.
a journey that you have to discover by
Okay.
yourself.
Okay. So once you figured out what is the best type of workout that is meant for you, the next big question should be how often should you actually do your workout in terms of weekly? Like, is 3 days a week enough? Should we be aiming for every single day or like, because to be honest, when you're motivated in the beginning, right, you kind of want to do it every single day, and that's when burnout hits. So the real question here is how many days a week should we realistically be working out, especially as beginners?
Right. Great question. And again, I'll have to default back to the it depends answer, because I think most of the answers I'm going to give today will depend on your situation. So if you're a beginner who has, let's say, you're a little bit free on time, you don't have that much commitment, then I would suggest to go at least, 3 times a week. The basic, I mean, if you want to go on guidelines, and all international guidelines is 150 minutes per week, right? But again, if you're someone who is very busy, you have a lot of things to juggle at work with family, then that number might not be realistic to you. So you might want to start with just 30 minutes a week, right? So the key thing here is to make sure you have uh, a set of time that you can actually hit, and then you build from there. Right? So even if 15 minutes it works, as long as you can manage that, and you gradually evolve from there, towards 150, right? And even beyond that, if you want to achieve greater result or faster results.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, frequency, how many times a week? Yeah, again, it depends, but at a minimum, I would say, I think 2 times a week is a good place to start. Yeah, 2 to 3 times a week is what we usually recommend our clients.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So another thing that comes up a lot when you're getting into just starting to work out is that all those whole gym membership debate.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think, do I need to start off with gym membership, sign up with that to take this seriously? And because gym can be expensive, and honestly, when you're just starting out, it could be quite intimidating if you don't know how to use the equipment, and like you feel like everyone else is, they know already what to do with all of those
Yeah.
equipments.
Yeah.
So this is also another concern for beginners. And the question is, do we need a gym membership to get started?
Mm-hmm.
And how do we know if we need a personal trainer?
Okay. So I think coming back to your first question, I gotta elaborate a bit on your first question to answer this question. Right. So when we talk about exercise, primarily there's two kinds of goals that we want to achieve. The first kind is cardiorespiratory health, which is basically cardio, right? Short for cardio. Uh, the other one is resistance training, right? Basically strength training. And you can see the activities that we do. It either builds up your cardio or your strength. Now, the gym is a great place to start because it provides the opportunity for both to happen at the same time, right? Usually, you have your cardio machines, or even if you do like let's say, a workout that really increases your heart rate, that can also be considered a cardiovascular exercise, all right? So, if your goal is to improve your health, I think you have to attack both of these, right? To improve your cardio and to improve your strength. Now, why a gym is great is because you have a lot more opportunity to train your strength, which is a lot of has a lot of benefits, right? Beyond losing weight, right? It has a lot of benefits such as disease prevention, strength. It builds up your bones. It gives you a lot of benefits when you're growing older, especially, right? So at home, you might not have the opportunity to do that because you don't have such machines and whatnot. But to be honest, you don't really need a gym membership, of course, to be healthy. The key point here is, I think, you still got to be consistent. I think that is more important than any gym membership that you can find, right? But a gym provides an environment for you to succeed. Let's put it that way, right? Because when you step into a gym, basically you don't do anything else except exercise, right? So you're kind of forcing yourself to do a workout, right? However effective that may be. And yeah, if you want to know if it's effective or not, that's when a professional trainer can help you, right? To understand whether the workouts you're doing, is it safe, is it effective, and is it practical for you, right? Because different people have different backgrounds, different medical history, injuries, so there are ways around that, and that's when a personal trainer can be really valuable. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So to get started, yeah, you don't really need a gym membership, but it helps a lot.
okay, got it. So let's move on to the next question.
Sure.
So people often think about this all the time when they're starting out, right? So should we be doing full body workouts, or should we be focusing on just specific areas like upper body, arms, or core. So when you're new to fitness, which part of the body that you suggest should focus on?
All right, that's a great question. So your question points to the direction of strength training, right? Because you're asking about which muscles should we work, and usually when we get started, we want to target every single muscle we have. Actually, we don't want to leave behind any, right? So the best answer to that is your whole body actually. But usually we start with the larger muscle group for the biggest bang of a buck. For example, your leg muscles, your back muscles. These are huge muscles in your body. So when you work them, you also actually kind of work muscles around it, the smaller muscles around it, right? Uh, but on top of that, like I said earlier, I think working your heart itself is a muscle as well, and that's important. And you can't break down heart part by part, but heart is basically you want to incrementally increase your heart rate to the point that your body can adapt over time. Yeah, so basically that's training, right? Yeah, so you want to get a full body workout, and you also want to train your cardio health. Yeah.
Got it. So basically, when we start working out, our mindset plays a huge role along the journey.
Mm-hmm.
How we show up and how we stay consistent, how we feel about the entire journey is important. So before starting your workout, it's not about warming up your body, but it is also putting your head in the right space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
During the workout, it is easy to get discouraged, and especially if you're someone who is just starting out, you're in level 1, but you're comparing yourself to someone who is already like level 8.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you're pushing yourself too hard, or maybe you set an unrealistic standards on yourself. And so what should we be mindful before, during, and after workout?
All right. So yeah, I think that's a good question, and I think, Honey, based on I've been a trainer for over 10 years, and of course, my views on exercise and workouts has also evolved over time. But as of today, I think the way I look at people who are trying to live a healthy lifestyle got it the wrong way. They're always trying to find what's the best workout, or what's the best diet. When in fact, I think the biggest thing that we should be tackling is actually behavioral change, right? It's actually our habits. And why do I say so? Is because if you have person A who has the best workout in the world, the best gym, the best diet plan, but they just show up, once a week, and then the week after they stop coming. And you have person B who, let's just say, they do home workouts, right? They don't have any fancy diet. They just say, they avoid sugar, they eat a bit less, they make sure they eat on time, things like that. But they show up daily, or at least 3 times a week. That person B with no gym and no best trainer and no is gonna get better results than person A.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely. So because yeah, it's I think habit is what you do consistently until you build that character, right? Like brushing your teeth is something you don't think about anymore. You just do it every day. And imagine if someone just brushes their teeth once a week, you're gonna get rotten teeth really fast, right?
Yeah.
So I think workout is the same way. It's about understanding your habits and changing your habits. So, but that's the tough part. Of course, we're all humans, right? There's always temptations and things around like that.
That's true.
Yeah, but the whole idea is to actually try to change your behavior and improve your habits over time, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So I think when it comes to the mindset, it's about behavioral change. I think there's a very good book, Atomic Habits. You guys can pick it up if you want to, where it teaches you how to systematically change your habits over time, and how small incremental changes are more impactful in the long run than big large ones.
I heard about that book actually.
Ah,
It's each 1% of change in your life can change the remaining
exactly.
parts of your life.
Yeah, every
Something like that.
1% that you put in every day is
Mm-hmm.
going to give you 37 times of improvement at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So focusing on that 1% is more important than the big things. And 1% can be very simple things like, like I said just now, showing up to the gym, even for 10 minutes, if that is a 1% improvement from yesterday, that is an improvement. So every day when you wake up, you have a certain habit that has improved from the day before. That's the 1% incremental change, and it compounds until the end of the year. You're going to be 37 times better than you were
That's
today.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So most people are trying to get like the, the secret shake or the best workout, but you don't really need all those to have a real habitual change, which is ultimately what we want, right?
That's right. You cannot change anything unless you change yourself.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
the thing. Okay. So moving on to the next question.
Mhm.
I think a lot of beginners could relate to this. Sometimes before working out, we feel like we need all the nutrients possible to ensure our body is nourished, right? And even after, we tend to be really careful so that we do not overeat. And maybe we are trying too hard not to put all those effort to waste.
Mhm.
So because of this, we
I'm
end up
guilty of that, by the way.
we end up not getting like balanced diet at the end of the day. Of course, we want something that is best for our body, but in order to ensure our workout is effective, we tend to get too caught up in how much portion that we take before and after a workout.
Mhm.
So, as a personal trainer, what do you suggest before and after you work out?
Okay. So great question. Um, Coming back to what I answered previously, right? I think what you consume before and after a workout is not as important as what you consume over the long run. Like, for example, what you consume before and after workout is not as important as what you consume in a day. What you consume in a day is not as important as what you consume in a week, and and so on and so forth. So I think understanding that takes off a little bit of pressure from being a little bit too laser focused on getting the right tweak or the right meal before or after workout. For the general population, I don't think we need to go to that degree, right? I mean, if you're an athlete or whatnot, yeah, the little micrograms matter. But for us, people who are just trying to be healthy, trying to live a good life, I think um, understanding caloric intake, that is a very important thing, right? You need to know how to balance your calories in versus out. Understanding the nutrients that you're putting in your body, what are proteins, what are carbohydrates, what are fats, right? Those are very important. And you can get this number off almost anywhere, right? Like how much calories do I need in a day? How many protein do I need in a day? You can get this easily nowadays, especially in the age of AI and whatnot. And I think, like I said, focusing on the habit is more important than the little details such as what should I eat before or after workout, right? But just to satisfy your question, um, before a workout, I usually don't recommend any kind of food because digestion is a process that is happening, and you don't want to interrupt that with a intensive workout, right? So no foods before working out is usually what's recommended, unless if you're like really low on energies, maybe a caffeinated drink or something that gives you energy will make sense, right? But not too heavy. After workout, you want to replenish your lost glucose, your glycogen stores, basically. So a lot of carbs will be good. A lot of fluid will be good, right? You want to replenish the water that you've lost, and yeah, some protein will be good as well to make sure that your body can repair what you have broken in the workout, right? Yeah, so a good balanced meal actually is what you should have after workout. As the same as every other meal throughout your day, you should have a good balanced meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So I hope I satisfy your question.
okay. So let's move on to the next question. I think this
Sure.
question is not inside of the script, but
Okay.
this is just an additional from my
Sure.
side.
Go ahead.
So, what do you think of cheat days?
Oh,
Is it similar to the one you answered just now?
that's a good question. I didn't really look at the script, so all my answers are pretty spontaneous, I would say, based on my experience and my limited knowledge. So cheat days, I think it's a trend that is popularized by people who are very intense with their workout back in the days. Like I think previously people go to the gym, building bodies and all, sculpted bodies, really good figures. Those are the image that we have of fitness back then, right? But I think throughout the years, especially post 2000, things have changed, right? The healthy person have many different look already, and people are talking about longevity, how to live a healthier life, how to have a high quality life, which is what we strive for all our clients, right? That is more important nowadays than rather than just looking good. So I think this cheat day is created by those who have very very strict diet regimens, and they just want a day to at least get a mental break from a very strict regimen, which I don't encourage at all to anyone who's trying to just to get healthy, right? So a lot of the advice back in the days are usually for people who are competing or athletes, right? But I think we have evolved to a stage where we don't really need cheat days, because you can actually, with a bit of effort, you can make every meal interesting. Right? Cheat day, they already implies that the other days are not very interesting, right? That's why you have a cheat day. But I think to make healthy dieting more sustainable, you should try to find healthy meals, but in an interesting way. Just like how I answered about the exercise question earlier. Even with meals, you should find what you're interested in, like healthy meals that you are interested in, right?
As long as it's not too excessive, like too much fats or too
Yeah,
much.
I think as with anything, you got to do it moderately, right? But to be more precise, you got to know your calories, yeah, and the things that you're putting in your body. And once you got that dialed down, you should be okay to have almost anything you want to eat within that limit. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So in essence, you can even have a cheat day every day, right? If you know how to place things well.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question.
Mhm.
How can we avoid injury when we're new to working out?
All right, it's a great question. How can we avoid injury? Um, to be honest, the gym is relatively a safe place, right? The gym is relatively a safe place as compared to sports, especially sports with contact. Yeah, those have higher chances of injury, but the gym is usually relatively quite a safe place. But of course, if you want to be safer, I may be biased, but the best way is to actually get a personal trainer, or a fitness professional who can help you understand where you're at and what kind of limits you have, right? Where's your current fitness levels and where you should pick up from there, because uh, no two people should ever have the same workout program, right? Yeah. And how to avoid injury other than getting a personal trainer is to not, yeah, contrary to the popular saying, no pain, no gain, you should avoid pain actually. When you have pain at the gym, that's a signal that something is not right, right? Soreness is fine, but not pain, especially joint pains. That is when something's wrong, and you got to stop. And this usually happens when you push yourself to your bodily limits, right? Which is also something that you should avoid, yeah, right? Especially if you're a beginner, you don't want to max out whatever strength and energy that you have, because that's basically going into injury zone already. Yeah, so you want to take it like 70-80% is good, but not
As
too.
long as you're not pushing yourself too hard, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, the gym is relatively a safe place. Yeah, if you're talking about the gym. Yeah.
Okay. When you really feel like all of your workout doesn't give you the results that you want,
Hmm.
given that you only work out by yourself and there's no actual guidance from personal trainer whatsoever, it's normal to feel like you're giving up and feel like unmotivated to do anything, because at the end of the day you don't feel like anything's changing.
Hmm.
But before quitting, you have this slight sense of hope, and you still believe you could change the way you do your workout, and so you consider to have a personal trainer as the last resort.
Hmm.
So the question is, if we ever need a personal trainer, how much money do we need to allocate, and what are the things that we need to consider before hiring one?
Wow. Okay. Again, a lot to unpack in that statement itself. Um, well, first of all, I think the perspective of your fitness journey shouldn't be when I couldn't achieve a goal, then I should stop doing, or it should be looked at as something that never ends. Actually, it is something that should be uh, you should strive for a healthy body regardless of age, right? Because the benefits are very clear, and we should not give up on our own physical health. So that's the first thing, right? You should never give up on your own bodily health. And if you fail today, it's fine. You can try again tomorrow. Like I said, it's a day-to-day thing, especially when it comes to health and fitness. When the gratification is severely delayed, right? You don't get the result immediately. You get it after weeks and months of hard work. But yeah, going to a trainer, coming back to your trainer question, I think the value of a trainer really lies in, like I said earlier, to the ability or the capability of that trainer to really change your behavior and habits, right? It's not so much of the best workout or the best, you know, diet plan, because you can give the best workout and the diet plan to a person who will not follow it, and nothing will happen, right? As opposed to if I can change the behavior of that person to enjoy workout, I can change the perception of you. Let's say, honey, I make the workout so interesting of you that to you that you don't even want to miss it. Like, you're excited to go to the gym the next day, and that's the sign of a great trainer, right? And I think, yeah, your question was how much do you think, how much does a trainer cost?
Yeah.
I think this really depends, on things like the qualifications and the area you're at. I have a whole article written on our website if you want to go deep into the details. But you can expect to pay about 100 to 300 ringgit per session with a professional trainer. Yeah, although I know that there are trainers who go below that as well, and also there are trainers who go beyond that as well. So I can't really give you a good range because this is not a heavily regulated industry per se. Yeah, but you can expect within that range. If yeah, so maybe about 200-ish per session. It's a good maybe benchmark. When it comes to hiring a personal trainer, what we understood so far is a lot of people have not experienced working with a trainer before, so they don't even know what to look for, right? If you already had a trainer and you go through multiple, you've got a good idea of where this trainer stands and whatnot. And like I said, it's a heavily unregulated industry. But what I can tell you is that you want to look for trainers who are, number one, I think the easiest way to filter is to check their qualifications, right? To ask what kind of backgrounds do they have, what certs do they have, although it's not a be all and all to know if this person is a good trainer, uh, but it gives you a certain understanding of how serious this person is, right? Because if a person is investing a lot in their education to obtain certs and whatnot, you can roughly know that this person is at least serious about his job, right? His or her job. The second thing is, of course, you can, you know, check the background, right? Check the background as in, have they worked with many clients before, or are they working in a reputable company? Reviews can help you to a certain degree, right? But I think you can understand someone's background by asking, maybe a simple question like, yeah, I'm sure you have a client that has similar goals with me. How did you help this client before? Or if they have testimonials, even better, right? It's easy to see what kind of work they've done before. Yeah, so I think those are the things that we need to consider, and I think a good trainer will definitely understand where you are at first before even starting out a training program. For example, doing simple assessments to see what is your fitness level first before even starting training. That's a pretty simple one to know if the trainer knows what they're doing. Um, yeah, I think those could give you. I also, again, like before, I have another article to that I've written, like what are the 7 things you should look out for in your first personal trainer if you've never hired one before.
Okay. So I guess that's all for us today.
Okay.
So that's the wrap of our session.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you to Aren for having this conversation with us
Thank you for
today.
having me.
And for our audience, we're going to see you guys next time and stay tuned. Thank you.